Hi Anupama. What are you doing?
I am doing my thesis work, my PhD thesis. I'm writing, and I need to wind it up soon. Let us go to our workbench, then we can talk. Would you like to see my working bench? So this is my working bench, and one experiment is going on. And here I am preparing nanoparticles, silver nanoparticles. So my work is on preparation of a nanomaterial which can be utilized in environment as well as in healthcare applications. So did you ever heard about this nanomaterials, nanoparticles?
No. What is a nanoparticle?
Okay, so let me tell you in a very simple language. Nanoparticles are particles, matter of particles whose size diameter is from 1 to 100 nanometers. It is in the nanoscale range, and these particles have a very larger surface area to volume ratio, and because of this property, it has a lot of applications in mainly a lot of sectors, areas of research, such as in mainly the healthcare sector, biomedical sector. In food packaging, we will find the nanoparticles being applied to it, and also there are a lot of cosmetics. Nowadays we find cosmetics where nanoparticles are used, and among the nanoparticles, we are mainly I am working on silver nanoparticles, and I have been using it, like my research was going on from 5 years, and it is my final year. So I have been using this nanoparticle for the preparation of my research work.
5 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So what is the topic of your PhD?
Okay, my topic is mainly the synthesis of silver nanoparticles. I am using a green synthesis method. So like I can talk about briefly about green synthesis. So I am using green synthesis method because green synthesis method is a very non-toxic method. It is environment friendly, and very less chemicals are used in this process. And in this process, we can use plant extracts and like agro waste. So these materials can be used for preparation or synthesis of silver nanoparticles or any other type of nanoparticles. And currently, actually my topic is on mainly I'm using silver nanoparticles which have been prepared by using a peel variety, a fruit variety which is only found in Assam. I am from Assam. Hi. So like I'm using a traditional banana variety which we only find in Assam. It is known as bhimkol or athyakol, and its scientific name is Musa balbisiana. So these peel haven't been used for this preparation of nanoparticles. So I like thought of using some very local plant for creating something beneficial for the society. So I have like utilized this peel variety, and it is also an agro waste. We generally don't use that much peels. So these peels have been prepared into a solution, and then different concentrations of the peel as well as silver nitrate has been added. So I'll be adding silver nitrate, 1 millimolar solution of silver nitrate. Around 1 ml of silver nitrate solution I'll be adding into the peel solution, and like different concentrations can be prepared of this solution, and I would like to show you the final outcome. So this is just a demo. So the final color change would be this one. So this is the actual silver nanoparticles which I have prepared, and these nanoparticles would be utilized, or I have already utilized for making polymer nanocomposite material. and also I have utilized it for making a polystyrene cup, basically polystyrene cup, where these nanoparticles are added so that it has an antibacterial as well as anti-inflammatory response for any kind of application.
So how can a polymer nanocomposite material be used?
Okay, so my work, second part of my work is on polymer nano composites. So I have prepared a polymer nanocomposite which can be utilized as a wound healing material. So basically I have prepared a dressing material which can be like if we get any cut or burn, so and that we can apply that material, hydrogen material. So I have prepared basically two polymers have been used for making the hydrogel, and then we have added nanoparticles into it, and after that we have like prepared into a blend. So that blend that is converted into a hydrogen, and that hydrogen can be utilized when we get wound or we get injured. That can be utilized and it heals faster.
So it heals faster than a normal
Yeah.
wound dressing?
Yeah, like there are actually commercially there are a lot of wound dressing, so we are still on that process. Like I'm checking whether it can be utilized for what kind of wound heals faster. So all this kind of things are there. Like yeah.
So Anupama, you have been here for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite instrument to work with?
Okay, I have been working a lot, like since last 5 years. I've been working on UV visible spectrophotometry a lot. So I can show you a little bit, like maybe I'll explain you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I am collecting sample from my solution. So finally the color, we have got the color, and like physically we can see the color, and like physically we can tell that nanoparticles have been formed. But how to like prove it? So we need UV visible spectra for mainly confirming our results that nanoparticles are formed and whether it is in the perfect wavelength. So we'll be collecting the sample. We'll be collecting the sample in a cuvette. So this is the main UV machine I have been using, and mainly this cuvette would go inside. There is this transparent side and two opaque side. So the transparent side would be, through the transparent side light will be passing. So would be placing it in this direction. So the instrument is starting. So after putting inside our sample and reference, then we will be getting a result. Like I'm just showing the result. So there is a peak around 400 to 500 nanometer wavelength. So here at this range we can confirm here there is a peak absorption maximum which is at around 400 to between 400 and 500 nanometer. So in this range, what basically happens in a UV visible spectra is that it is a quantitative technique in which we can mainly measure how much light is absorbed by the chemical substance which is present in the sample. So here the absorption happens at around 430 to 435 nanometer. So this is mainly we can detect, and from here we can prove that nanoparticles are formed.
So Anupama, thank you for showing us your research today. One last question.
Okay.
At the end of your graduate studies, it's been a long journey, right? From bachelor's to master's. Oh, where did you do your master's again?
Okay, so I did my master's in at Teshpur University, and there I studied MTech in food engineering and technology, and I really learned a lot actually. Like food tech is a great subject. I don't say, yeah, there are job opportunities also, but I opt for doing PhD after my master's, and I was actually interested. I was very curious about the doings or what goes on into scientific research, and I was also interested in food sector as well as in environment. So like, so in that way I was so interested, I ended up doing PhD, and now like the journey was really like I learned a lot of things basically in this journey. So like I
So, what would be your message for future PG students who would like to join from food tech?
Okay, yeah, food tech. I can say food tech is a very booming subject. Also, as I did bachelor's in biotechnology, it is also a very innovative subject. If you really want to go further in research area, then you can opt for food tech or biotechnology, and these are actually very interesting subjects. And my experience would be, personal experience would be that I really, I enjoyed this journey. Also, I had a lot of like you can say ups and downs.
So, what has been your learning experience during this entire
Okay.
5 years?
So this journey was really a long period of time. I learned a lot of things. Also, as a person, I grew actually. And also PhD is entirely your journey. Like, it is not that you have come to make, like you're just okay, चलो करते हैं PhD कर लेते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. You have to be very focused. If you want to join PhD, you have to give your maybe like 4 to 5 years. You have to entirely give into this process. You will learn a lot of things in this process, and also you will learn how to work alone. Like you have to conduct your research work, and you have to also consult with your supervisors, your seniors. So in this process you will be learning a lot of things, and as a person definitely you will be growing. So lastly, I would like to thank IIT Guwahati, especially Center for Environment, as I am doing PhD from the center. I would like them for giving me so much facilities for working and for completing my PhD work. And also my supervisors, my lab mates and seniors, my friends, they are so lovely people, and I'm really fortunate to get this life actually. And life at IIT Guwahati is really good. Like you will get a lot of things to do here, lot of instruments, you get international exposures, and you can enjoy your life actually. Also focus on your studies.
Thanks, Anupama. It was wonderful talking to you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
So, Anupama, when not in lab, what makes you truly happy?